Ever experienced the feeling of being everywhere but here? Like you've been issued a time travel passport, but instead of zipping through the cosmos, you're stuck in a never-ending loop of your own life's blooper reel. Now let's think about it. Living in the past, future, and present is a bit like being a time traveler. But this isn't the glamorous Doctor Who-esque time travel we're talking about. No, it's more like being stuck in a revolving door of your past embarrassments and future anxieties. Imagine this. You're a time traveler. You've got the whole of history and the infinite possibilities of the future at your fingertips. But instead of witnessing the Big Bang or sharing a cuppa with Shakespeare, you're stuck replaying that time you called your teacher mum in the 3rd grade. Or maybe you're constantly fretting over a future problem, like whether you'll be able to afford a space condo on Mars in 2045. Why is it that we tend to dwell on the past and worry about the future instead of enjoying the present? It's a bit like being handed a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, only to spend the entire visit worrying about the calories and reminiscing about that time you ate a stale chocolate bar. We're so busy time traveling in our minds, we forget to live in the present. And the present is where the magic happens, folks. That's where we have the power to shape our experiences, to learn, to grow, to laugh at the absurdity of life. So if you find yourself stuck in this time-traveling conundrum, remember, the past is a place of reference, not residence. The future is a mysterious land, filled with possibilities, not a source of anxiety. And the present, well, the present is the only place where you can truly exist. So, are you a time traveler stuck in a time loop? Ever noticed how sadness and anxiety are like those uninvited guests who just don't get the hint to leave? They're like that pair of party crashers who insist on ruining all the fun. Let's get a bit imaginative, shall we? Picture this. Your mind is a grand house party, buzzing with thoughts, memories, emotions, and dreams. They're all mingling and having a jolly good time. But then, sadness strolls in, uninvited as ever. Sadness, my friends, is that tiresome guest who insists on rummaging through your old photo albums, bringing up those embarrassing stories from the past. You know, the ones you'd rather forget. Like that time you walked into a glass door, or when you called your teacher mum in front of the whole class. Sadness loves to remind you of those moments, casting a gloomy shadow over the otherwise vibrant party in your head. Now, on the other side of the room, anxiety is causing its own brand of havoc. Anxiety is that fretful guest who's always predicting doom and gloom for the party. It's forever peering out of the window, convinced that a horde of party poopers is about to descend upon your happy gathering. It's worried about the party running out of snacks, or the music being too loud, or the neighbors complaining. It's forever fretting about what might happen next, sucking the joy out of the present moment. So you've got sadness and anxiety, these two party poopers, taking up all the space in your head, leaving little room for the joy, contentment, and peace that would really make the party swing. They're the ones who turn your mind into a battlefield of the past and future, leaving you missing out on the fun happening right here, right now, in the present. So, are you hosting a gloomy party in your head? Ever felt like happiness is that cool kid in school who just keeps avoiding you? Let's set the scene, shall we? Picture this. High school, that tumultuous landscape where popularity reigns supreme, and the social hierarchy is as real as the algebra test you didn't study for. Now happiness, that's the cool kid, the one with the perfect hair, the enviable style, and the latest smartphone, the one everyone wants to be friends with. You are, well, you. You've got your charms, of course, but you're not exactly turning heads in the hallway. But that doesn't stop you from wanting to befriend happiness. So, you start the chase. You're off to the races, running after happiness like it's the last bus home on a rainy day. You're pulling out all the stops, trying to get its attention. You're learning the guitar because happiness likes music. You're joining the football team because happiness is into sports. You're even attempting to understand quantum physics because happiness mentioned it once. But here's the kicker. The more you chase, the faster happiness seems to run away. It's like you're caught in a frustrating game of tag, and you're always it. You're huffing and puffing, running in circles, yet happiness remains frustratingly out of reach. And the worst part, the more you chase, the more it seems like happiness is avoiding you. It's like you've got "avoid me" written on your forehead in invisible ink that only happiness can see. Why is that, you ask? Well, it's simple. Happiness, like the cool kid, doesn't like to be chased. It's not about how fast you run, or how hard you try. It enjoys the thrill of the chase, sure, but it prefers to hang out with those who are comfortable in their own skin, those who don't try too hard, those who live in the present. So ask yourself this: are you still running after the cool kid? Or are you ready to stop, catch your breath and let happiness come to you? Because remember, you don't chase happiness, you attract it. So are you still running after the cool kid? Ever wondered how to be the magnet that attracts happiness instead of repelling it? Well, allow me to introduce you to the world of magnets. Magnets, you see, have this uncanny knack of attracting certain things to them. It's not like they're out there running a marathon, chasing after bits of metal. Oh no, they just sit there minding their own business and voila, metal comes a-flocking. Now imagine if you could do the same with happiness. No more wild goose chases, no more breathless pursuits, just sitting there being your fabulous self and happiness comes a-knocking. Sounds delightful, doesn't it? The key to this magical magnetic power is living in the present. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right here, right now. This moment, this very second, that's where the magic happens. You see, happiness is a bit like a shy kitten. Chase it and it'll run for the hills. But sit quietly, patiently, and it might just come out to play. Picture this. You're at a party, but instead of enjoying the music, the laughter, the terrible dance moves of Uncle Bob, you're worrying about the presentation you have to give next week. You're not at the party, you're in the future. And let me tell you, the future is a happiness-free zone. It's all uncertainty and what-ifs and sweaty palms. But change your focus, shift your attention to the now, and suddenly you're really at the party. You're laughing at Uncle Bob's dance moves, you're feeling the beat of the music, you're living in the moment. And that's when happiness sneaks up on you. So what's the secret to becoming a happiness magnet? It's simple. Be present. Be here now. Because happiness doesn't live in the past or the future. It lives in the now. Living in the present is like being a magnet for happiness. You don't need to chase it, you just attract it. So, put away your running shoes and dust off your magnet. It's time to attract some happiness. So, are you ready to turn your polarity and become a happiness magnet? Fancy joining our club of happiness magnets? This isn't your run-of-the-mill club, folks. No siree. We're a jolly band of time travel quitters, choosing to anchor ourselves firmly in the magnificent present. You see, we've learned from the past without getting stuck in its cobwebs. We've planned for the future without letting it steal our peace. And boy, have we stopped chasing happiness like it's a runaway cupcake. Instead, we've become happiness magnets, attracting joy by staying rooted in the here and now. So how about it? Ready to swap your time machine for a magnet? There are no membership fees, just a commitment to stop time traveling and start living in the present. It's a simple swap, really, a bit like trading in a dodgy old car for a shiny new one. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to be part of our club. Remember, be here, be now, be a happiness magnet.